got about 5 people live.
No, really? Okay.
Yeah, we do. What's up, y'all? Come on in.
Peace, y'all.
Come on in to the 2020 twin. Y'all come on in, y'all come on in. You thinking about putting the title? You think about changing it?
Okay. Oh yeah.
I think we're gonna switch the title on y'all for the day, just for the Sunday talk. We gonna switch the title right quick, y'all. Why did you give me 2 different ones?
I think they're the same. And then you post this. Twice.
So y'all come on in, we gonna shift the. We gonna do a little shift right quick, y'all. And like I say, y'all, you know, it's crazy how the things we talk about is to move forward, and everybody just want to wake up every day and talk. And like I said, y'all, because everybody asking me what my plan is, but shit, what is the plan? Okay, forget y'all Jew plan. Well, what is the plan, y'all? What's the plan? That's what I'm gonna start asking people, man. What's the plan? What's the plan, man? Like, okay, you believe this, you believe that. What's the plan? Buy land. We say America ours.
Who you buying the land from? Like, that's the question. Who you buying the land from? We talking about creating our own so we don't have to buy land from somewhere else. Like, y'all just think that we're supposed to create our own in a nation that, you know, deceived us, colonized us.
You know, buy land. And if you got land, you can make moves. That's cool. But the plan got to be way bigger than buying land. You see what I'm saying? When you buy land, what you gonna do? What you gonna capitalize off of it?
What?
Account detection.
What the hell is that?
I didn't know it's that. Count deletion in 5 minutes.
Account deletion in 5 minutes.
What count? Your account? Let somebody put that in the comments or something, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm about to say, like, how?
These people are crazy.
Nah, y'all, we ain't hurt nobody, y'all. We just telling the truth, man.
Yeah, I have a question.
You know, we just telling the truth.
So when did the colonization start? Was it when King Tewodros or Emperor Tewodros killed himself?
Well, that was, you could kind of say that was the beginning of the doors being open. Um, you know, and like I said, since that took place, all the artifacts, manuscripts, and all that got sieged. You know, that was the beginning of opening the door to the British Empire, which is the people who was head of colonizing the world.
The colonization actually just started to speed up. It kind of took a long time. I believe like it started then, but it took a while. It was due to the king actually killing himself. That's what slowed down the colonization aspect, because most of them were still in rural villages, had no idea what was going on in the cities.
But yeah, and that's why I say I agree, and that's why I say that was like the door opening, and then from that time on, they began to take over in so many ways, and well, I would say infiltrate. But like you said, the real infiltration and the real takeover, I can say when Ethiopia was just fully colonized, where they just really had full control, I can say like in the 1970s, 1960s, you know, Great Britain damn near had full control.
Yeah, thanks, man. Keep up the good work. Even me myself, I'm learning.
All right, brother. Respect.
I'm from West Ethiopia, Gambela region.
Okay, yeah. Much respect then. You know, I'm glad you came up and acknowledged that as an Ethiopian, man. That shows, you know, the things that can take place if we just humble ourselves to have conversation. So, much respect to you, brother.
One question, another question too. I think I've heard y'all say like the Christ comes from the people. A while ago, within the people, from within. It's not going to come from the outside. Could you expand on that more?
Well, yeah, Christ is just a high priest. Christ is not a deity or a spirit. Christ will be the leader of the revolution. That would be the simpler way to say it. He will be the leader of God's army. That's why in the Bible it say the armies of heaven follow him. So Christ would just be a leader of a revolution, just like a Tedros. That's why Tedros have a statue called King of Kings, Lord of Lords. That's Christ's title. You know, and that's what the colonizers took away. They took away the revolutionary mind frame of what Christ really is and made Christ a deity. You know, so now it's hard for people to even recognize a Christ because they think it's going to come from the sky or it's a deity or something, when all Christ is a living, chosen man by God. That's all Christ is. And he leads the revolution, which is to save and redeem the people.
I think I might have worded that wrong from what I've heard y'all said. I think y'all said it was his son, maybe. His son will be born from within the people.
What? Well, no.
Be among the people.
No, it would be, somebody among the people. There would be a son of man among the people who God choose.
Y'all did mention a while ago how all the kings up there on the back of y'all were militant. And that's very true to a point where, like, most of our African leaders were militant. It wasn't the now, like, leaders that are sitting in like, big houses, chilling.
Correct. Yeah. That was militant. That's why a lot of them was unalived in battle. Most of these people here they got unalived in battle. You know, and actually Haile Selassie is the only emperor that didn't stay and fight. He went to the people who colonized the world. That's what he went and said for 5 years. He went to the head of the colonizers. You know, so like I said, man, these things are just question marks that really have to be answered in the correct way. You know, to bring the full understanding of why we so divided and why we so confused when it comes to knowing what truly took place. But and like I say, man, you know, like I say, that's a lot of respect for Ethiopian to come up here and say those things, because like I said, we got Ethiopians coming attacking us because we not from Ethiopia, but we bringing this information out. It's not about, it's about the information. Like, it's really about the information. But you attacking me because I'm not in Ethiopia? That goes to show you the flesh, the mind frame we in. You see what I'm saying? So y'all, let's.
I'm gonna bring some out up.
Huh?
Bring some out. Peace, peace.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So in the Bible it says a certain way to judge people. So I just want to ask y'all a question. Okay. Do you guys continue Sabbath day?
Christ brings in the Sabbath day. So the Sabbath day is when you hearken to the voice of God.
No, it's not. The Sabbath day is the seventh day of the week. In the Bible, it tells you that.
And you follow the calendar that they giving you.
No, do not try to flip it around.
I'm not.
Do you guys keep Sabbath day? Just answer. You let your yay be yay and let your no be nay.
Yeah, we in the
So
Sabbath.
yay or nay.
We in
like
the
you tell
Sabbath.
the people, yay or nay. Do you guys keep Sabbath day?
Yeah, we in the Sabbath.
Okay. So you think you're in the Sabbath?
No, you think you're in the Sabbath.
We know we in the
You think
Sabbath.
you're in the Sabbath.
No, we
So
know
do you
we
guys
in the
follow any of the holidays or festivals that the Bible tell you to keep?
We don't follow man traditions. We don't follow man holidays.
That's not a man tradition. That is what Jesus, the actual Jesus said the first time when he came. Those are the festivals that you must keep. So do you guys follow those, yay or nay?
We don't follow man feasts.
That's because you trying to change it around. You can't say that you contest to the Bible and then you trying to basically turn it around and basically say the Bible is just man-made. We don't follow that. You
We
guys
didn't
are
say-
saying
I
you
didn't- I
agree
never
with the Bible,
said-
and at the same time y'all say y'all disagree with the Bible. It can't contradict yourself. It's either got to be a yay or it's got to be a nay.
We
So
don't-
either you gonna
we
drink
don't
from God's
follow-
cup or you're not gonna drink from God's cup.
We don't follow.
You can't drink from both cups. That's what the devil said. That's what Jesus said when in the Bible. So yay or nay? Do you guys follow any of the festivals? That's the Bible literally give to you that you're supposed to follow.
We follow.
That's not including
sis,
Christmas
sis.
or any of that stuff.
Sus, we follow all the festival because Christ ushered in the feast days. You can't keep the feast days without the supper. In order for you to have God feast days, you must sit down at God table. That's why I say God prepared a table for you in the midst of your enemies. So where's this table that you went to? Because you went to the grocery store to keep God feast. We don't go to the grocery store to keep God feast. Because God table.
Do you follow the feast on the correct days? Don't just yay.
Okay, get out of here. Thank you for coming up. Nobody finna deal with that kind of energy, man. Like, y'all really think we finna deal with that kind of energy? Like, really for what? Like, what do we?
Do you keep the feast days?
Like, people understand that. Like, I was telling a brother, hey, God bread ain't in the grocery store, homie. You can't put God bread in the oven. You cannot take the bread from heaven and put it in the oven and say, I'm partaking in God feast. No, what you are partaking in is man feast. That's why you went got it from the grocery store that man built. You can't plant God food. Christ ain't. That's why some people think the Last Supper. That's why even Christ said to his disciples, you forgot about the 5 loaves that people ate? And then Christ said, you not following me because you seen me do miracles? You ate of the loaves and you was filled? So Christ was going around handing people bread? Y'all think Christ was feeding the homeless? You know, like this is the mind frame we are in. This is the people that we are talking to. But the crazy thing about it, they come up with so much energy, like they so right. Like they just know because you follow the calendar, you see 7 or you see whatever day, and then you go and you say it's God feast day. That's why the prophet Isaiah said, get rid of your calling of assemblies. You called them assemblies. Them assemblies not called by God. So the prophet Isaiah, she probably don't even know that. He said, get rid of your feast days. God is weary of them. But why did the prophet Isaiah say that? Because you called the feast days. Those are not God feast days. That's go ahead.
And I was saying also in Colossians 2:16, It says, "Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holiday or of a new moon or of the Sabbath days." So, that's all she came up to do. Most likely she was in the Hebrew camp. That's what it sounded like. They follow the moon, and that's how they dictate which one is the Sabbath day, and they're connecting it to their own understanding. They don't have the true understanding.
But what did Christ say? Come to me so you can have what? Rest. So Christ is the Lord of Sabbath. It say, come to me so you can have rest, because that's the Lord of Sabbath. That's why I say, let no man what? Judge you in food or in drink or in regarding a festival, new moon or Sabbath. You can't judge. You can't judge us when it comes to that, because Christ gonna usher that in. Christ gonna bring the new moon. Christ gonna bring the Sabbath. Christ gonna bring the feast, and Christ gonna bring the food. But what y'all doing? Judging people because you think they not keeping the Sabbath day. That's not even your job. The Bible tell you that ain't even your job. But you gonna tell me I'm not doing my job, but you not doing yours either. Hypocrite.
Peace.
What's going on?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good morning. I have a question for you.
Okay.
What are you basing on your story that you are telling? You said here Ethiopia is colonized. By whom? What year? Where you where you got this information? For how long you did the research?
We've done the research for a while.
So the Ethiopia was colonized by who?
By the British Empire.
Huh?
By the British Empire.
What year?
What year? It started in 1868. That's when it
British.
began.
I can think if you guys saying Egypt because it was a trial, British? You got that
Well,
wrong.
you gotta understand, like, who took all the Ethiopian artifacts, gold manuscripts, and Renaissance paintings?
They steal it. Thank you. They steal it. They still are.
Hold on. Stop.
What do you stop?
I'm asking, who took all the artifacts and manuscripts from Ethiopia?
The Western, they steal it.
That's what I'm asking. But I'm saying, but do you know who did it?
Some was British, some was Italy, and they are still doing it. But
Okay,
Ethiopia
right.
never been colonized.
Okay, but man, you gotta listen to what you're saying.
I'm listening what I'm saying. You need to listen too.
Man, just listen. If I'm able to come and take stuff from the country at will when I want to, what does that mean? My country don't have no.
Let me ask you this. No.
Hold on. So wait, I ain't finished yet. I ain't even finished.
Okay, go ahead.
So if a country come over and take goods at their will, what does that mean?
Okay, you're gonna tell you that? You're gonna let me tell you, or you're gonna cut me off?
What does that tell me? What that mean? If somebody can come in your house and take what they want, that mean what? They control it, or they don't?
I said, okay, hold down. That's the reason they steal it. When you colonize, you are in charge of the state. They did not take it. They steal it. They are still stealing Ethiopian good resource. That's the difference. Ethiopia never been colonized. You're telling wrong information.
So are you saying the leaders that's in Ethiopia are allowing the British Empire to come in and take things? Is that what you're saying then?
Most likely.
Okay, so if your leaders are corrupted and are working for the British Empire, that means that they are colonizing you, but not the way you think you're being colonized. Not just because you see a white man in charge don't mean that you're not colonized.
Ma'am, go serve anybody you want to serve. Ethiopia never been colonized. Just because you're jealous and you don't know your history, you bullshitting here on TikTok. You don't know your history. Go study your history. Go study where you came from.
Our history is your history. That's what you don't understand.
No, you do not understand.
ma'am, who are these people behind us?
Go study. I know my history.
And ma'am, who are these people behind us?
I know them. You don't know them.
Okay,
who
is this? Now who is the man at the top right? Who this is?
You don't tell me.
Well, sis, you from Ethiopia, educate
I
us.
am proud of Ethiopia.
Hey, sis,
I'm the royal.
You from Ethiopia. Educate us on your history.
Listen.
No, sis. You're from Ethiopia. Educate us on your history.
I cannot educate you because you're full of shit. I cannot educate you full of shit. You don't have your history. You don't know where you came from. Go research.
Shit, and I'm just asking you a question.
You don't ask me.
Get the shit out me and educate me. Take the shit out of me and educate me on who this is up here. Can you please do that?
Are you pointing? Let's say I don't know which one you're pointing, honestly.
All the way at the top. Who that is? All the way at the top.
I don't know. Let me tell you. I'm so upset and I'm not feeling good. Honestly, my vision is not good, to be honest with you.
Oh, your vision? So you that angry? What you angry
at? At you that you don't know your history. You just bullshitting.
Sis, you don't know your history because you don't know nobody behind me. Now you blind.
Sir, let me tell you. Ethiopia,
now you can't see.
Ethiopia.
Yeah. All right, sis. Thank you for coming up. This conversation is not gonna go nowhere, sis. So
have a good day. Have a good day. Don't spread.
And your blood pressure is running up. We don't want your blood pressure to go high.
I don't know my history.
You take care of yourself. Go get
we are the royal. We are the royal. You jealous? You don't know where you belong.
She say her eyes going blurry. She's just that mad. But she not colonized, but she don't know her history. She say go study our history. We got her history up here. She don't know nothing about it. This her history. These people never left Ethiopia. She don't know nothing about it. But she angry at us. But people ask why we don't have nothing, why we can't come together. Look. Why would you attack me for saying something that you know nothing about? Why would something make you that mad? For what? You ain't even mad at you ain't even mad at Great Britain like that for taking your stuff. I ain't took nothing from Ethiopia. I ain't went in Ethiopia and took nothing. I bet you she was the Ethiopian when the queen passed away. What she was doing? She was probably they were probably Ethiopians that was over there crying because the queen passed away. The same queen that run the colonizers that's taking your stuff. Your leader, matter of fact, can we show the Ethiopians what their leader did? What the leader of Ethiopia did when the queen died?
I'm gonna show them the title first. It's not that one.
Do I have that one? I ain't got that one.
Yeah, it's right here.
I want y'all to read this, y'all.
Yeah,
y'all read what the Ethiopians did to the people who taking their goods. Like the sister just said, they taking their goods, and they know who taking it. But they paying homage to the people that's taking it.
So this is a statement that's on the Ethiopian Crown Council website. You can look it up right now. It's still there. This is during the year when Queen Elizabeth died. This is the statement when Haile Selassie's grandson published it on the website. So y'all can go look that up.
Let's tell the truth, y'all. All we doing is telling the truth.
This is not a document we created. This is a document created by Haile Selassie's grandson. Not us. Them. So it says Haile Selassie bestowed upon Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, and her consort, Prince Philip, which is her husband, is the highest orders within the Solomonic gift. In every sense, they bow to each other with the compassion of understanding of the great things which harness them together in the service of their people.
The highest orders, y'all. The highest orders. So why you don't have a throne in Ethiopia no more? Because the throne is in Great Britain. They are ruling the Ethiopian government because they have what? The highest orders. And the highest orders not in Ethiopia, it's in Great Britain. It was given to Great Britain by the one who had the highest order, which was Haile Selassie. So the highest order is no longer in Ethiopia. So when Haile Selassie passed away, or when Haile Selassie got kicked off the throne, everything got transferred over to Great Britain in the 1970s. You were going to say something?
No, I was just gonna say what the British also gave Haile Selassie, what does it say? Knight of the Garter? Britain's highest honor, and he was made the Field Marshal of the British Army. So they both gave each other gifts.
But see, the key thing, he was Field Marshal. So his position, when he passed, somebody got put in his position. See, the British Empire don't have a solid-minded gift to give nobody. They don't have that kind of power to give. So they gave Haile Selassie a position. But once Haile Selassie passed, his position got filled. But when Haile Selassie passed, the gift was still given to who? See, you got to understand what happened right here. Haile Selassie gave them a gift that no other nation had. The Solomon gift. That's the Bible. That's the, everybody pick, why you think everybody got the Bible? That's the Solomon gift.
They've been fighting for him.
You don't have the Solomon gift to give. So British could not give the gift that Haile Selassie gave them. The only gift they could offer was, hey, bro, you know, since you giving us something, that's like somebody did everything for you, but all you can do is appreciate them because you don't have that much to give. You can only appreciate them in so much, so you do what you can, but you can't give them what they gave you because you don't have it to give. So they gave him a position, and this is the difference. So the solid-minded gift reigns supreme over the world. And this is 20 years after World War II. You got to understand, this is 20 years after World War II. That's why I tell y'all Great Britain actually gained power in 1948. They took over in the 70s. That's when the takeover, when they got that gift, when they got the solid-minded gift, this solidified their world power as what? The royal family. It put a stamp on it in a whole different way. You know, so like I say, y'all, this is the history that we are coming from. And this is on black and white. This is on paper. You can go look. That's why I say we're not just up here talking. It's on black and white. So they want you to think Ethiopians cannot colonize, so you won't learn the real history. This is all we saying. We're not saying we happy Ethiopia got colonized. We so happy. We're not. How?
What's the point of it?
That's not. Why would we get up here and say this? Because we actually have a petition to return the stuff that they took. So we got stuff in black and white that we doing from Ethiopia. The people that's mad at us, they not doing nothing for Ethiopia. They just sitting there letting everything happen. They not fighting for Ethiopia. We fight for Ethiopia. That's why we bringing this stuff out. So when people come up here and just fight us, like people are really like we up here just laughing and we hating and we jealous. That's the most ignorant statement you could ever say to especially people like us. Man, that's sad.
Peace.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on? Peace.
Yes, I want to just ask you a question. Why you say Ethiopia is colonized? I don't understand.
Well, Ethiopia have been getting invaded since 1868. Their manuscripts, a lot of stuff have been taken. A lot of leaders have been unalived. And all these things been going on the last 150 years. And as you see, Ethiopia is still in war. That's why people leave Ethiopia. That's why Ethiopians over here in D.C., they're in Virginia, because of what's going on in their country. But we have to understand this. People have been leaving Ethiopia since the 1800s because of these wars. So
No, I heard you said British they colonize Ethiopia and they take our
that's what I'm
things.
saying. You got to understand. People been leaving Ethiopia. People ain't just started leaving Ethiopia in the 19 and 2000s. People been leaving Ethiopia, coming to America. America was one of the first countries. Ethiopia is one of the first countries of Africa that was in contact with America. So when you consider all these things, Ethiopia and America have a relationship that most Ethiopians don't even know about because of the colonization. So as I said, the British been invading Ethiopia for many years.
We
Even at the
have a
time, the
relationship.
Italians,
We have
even
relationship with a lot of countries, not only with America. If you tell, we have a relationship with Jamaica, Korea, Uganda. We have a lot of countries. We have relationship a lot of countries. Why you say only in America, not only with America?
No, we're not saying
I'm
only
saying
America.
only America. I'm not. I'm saying America.
Okay. You say America, America.
Ethiopia has been in cahoots with America since the beginning of America. That's all I'm saying. You're right. Ethiopia has been heavily with British. That's why I told you the British been invading Ethiopia for almost 100, 200 years, 150 years. So I'm not saying only America.
3,000 years, man. Don't
No,
3,000
no,
years.
no, no, no,
Ethiopia.
no, 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 no.
Yes, yes, yes. Don't. You see,
Ethiopia,
now we cannot talk with each other. Why you say 100 years?
hold up, because Africa didn't start getting invaded until guns was created. Guns enabled the other races to come into Africa and colonize it.
Before
They didn't
the
come into
white
Africa
people
with
land.
swords and colonize it. So that's what I'm saying. Like the Romans ain't been colonizing no Africa for 3,000 years or 400. That's what they want us to believe to make them look powerful. But they not that powerful.
But what I want to say, you say British they stole it and they stole something in Ethiopia. Stealing means not colonize. If I stole something in you, means I colonize you.
They
You
stole
understand in that way?
what they have stolen from Ethiopia. They used it and colonized you with false information. That's why most Ethiopians in religion, because religion is connected to government, they believe that Christ came 2,000 years ago. They follow the Roman doctrine. They follow the Roman dates. Even though Ethiopia is 7 years ahead, 7 years behind the calendar that Americans follow, they still believe in the same dates that the Romans follow.
But my question is, when you say they stole, it
Yes,
means they
biblical,
colonize us.
biblical
Colonize
manuscripts.
means they control the country and they're not allowed to do whatever the people want to do.
Brother,
That is colonize for
Ethiopia
me.
is currently in a genocide right now.
We don't speak right now. We talk about Haile Selassie and
What are we
Minilik,
talking
no?
about right now? Because right now explains what happened in the past. There's always a reaction. So your past matters because of what's going on in your country right now.
In my country now, we colonized by technology, and everything. I don't know. We colonized by China, whatever you call it.
Admit
I
that
understand,
they've
but
been
Ethiopia
colonized now, but
colonized is
not
not
back
good.
then. You agree that they're colonized now, but not back then, which is like 100 years ago.
No, Ethiopia never colonized.
Brother.
Have a nice night. But don't say Ethiopia is colonized. It's not good for Ethiopia.
So did you pay attention to the document that we just read earlier
No,
about Haile Selassie giving Queen Elizabeth the highest order, Stalagmite order, to their family?
I don't. I know Elizabeth was coming in Ethiopia to visit and everything, but I don't know what he gave for her. I tell you the truth. And the British people make the palace decor and everything. I know that.
Oh, this is a document that's from Ethiopia, from Haile Selassie's grandson, explaining how they work together. Like you can
Okay.
this is on the Crown Council website.
I capture it and I would see it when I.
So you can go look it up yourself. This is not something that's made up. This is documents found.
So you can tell us this information another way. Don't say Ethiopia was colonized. This information is not good
But
for
this
Ethiopia. Just
this
my
document
information.
explains how they are colonized.
Okay.
You know, they make it seem like colonization is like
You know,
there's a better
They don't
word for it. Like, it's not, It's just what it
Okay.
is.
Have a nice night, anyways.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
That's why, that's why you can see this information has been forced on them to believe they are not colonized. Why is it such a big deal to say Ethiopia is not colonized? When that's like the woman said, they've been coming over here taking all. It's like you live in a house, right? I own the house, but you could walk in the house anytime. That means what? I really don't own it. If you can come in my house anytime you want, I don't own the house. You can just come to my house and take what you want. Shit ain't mine. Because if somebody came in your house right now that you own and start taking everything you want, you're going to get mad. You're going to either want to move out the house. Why do you think so many Ethiopians come over here? Why? Because their country not colonized? It don't make no sense. Why you think on TV they were showing you starving babies from Ethiopia? Because they not colonized? It makes no sense. If you come in a neighborhood, or right now, for instance, they got rid of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Now look at what they doing to us. We ain't got no leaders. They can teach us whatever they want just because they got rid of 2 leaders. Marcus Garvey, they got rid of 5, 6 leaders, and now they can tell our youngsters whatever they want. This in America right now. So if you come in a place and take away all the leaders, you can tell the people whatever they want. So we gonna say nobody was being unalive in Ethiopia. Nobody was being unalive in Ethiopia back then.
Nobody was taken.
Yeah, nobody. They weren't taking nobody. Tedros was the king of kings, and his son and his wife got took. But nobody wasn't taking nobody. So when you remove people, especially valuable people, who understand the history, who understand the land, who understand what's going on in politics, because everybody in Ethiopia didn't know what was going on in the 1800s. Only the generals, only the people of positions. So if you get rid of the people of positions, then you colonize the people. All you got to do is put somebody in a position that's going to work for you. So we showing you that right now the Ethiopian government is working for the British Empire. It's facts. Haile Selassie gave them the gift. Matter of fact, they got to work if they're going to be an Ethiopian government, unless they're going to bring in a new one. Well, that's what Christ's going to do. Shit, it is the British.
Yeah,
Thank you for the opportunity.
Peace.
I'm an Ethiopian, sir, but I reside in South Africa. Many Ethiopians come to America, from my understanding, because of economic reasons. They're economic migrants because they're seeking better opportunities to better their lives and to help their families. I don't think colonization has a sense. It would be difficult to say that equates to colonization. Migration, yeah, maybe. They just seek a better life, and maybe the environment in their own country does not permit them to have a good economic.
So I want to ask you this then: how long do you think people have been leaving Ethiopia? Or when did people start leaving Ethiopia to seek a better life?
No, it's been happening for a long time. You see, Ethiopia
No, I'm just trying to, like, a long time is kind of vague. I'm just trying to give me like something a little narrow down, if you can.
I don't know. I don't want to speak with absolute fact because I'm not certain, but I would assume hundreds of years. Ethiopians have always been, even I think America is 400 years old. As far to my knowledge, Ethiopia is, I think, 3,000 years old. The dynasty, or the so-called Ethiopia or Abyssinia, the ones that preceded, there were empires. So it's a 3,000-year so-called civilization or empire. So I would say since it possibly thousands of years, because
so it's good to say a lot of Black Americans can be Ethiopian then, right?
I mean, you for sure. I can't speak because I don't have empirical facts, but it's a possibility.
Okay, it's a possibility. Okay, so when we say Ethiopia is colonized, the solid-minded gift was given to the British Empire. Now, most Ethiopians don't even know what the solid-minded gift is.
That's true. It's the first time I heard about it as well.
You see what I'm saying? But that's Ethiopian history. See, that's not Great Britain history. That's not American history. That's not even African history. That's Ethiopian history. Now, the solid-minded gift is the gift that the Bible talking about, which is the wisdom of God, which is the Ark of the Covenant that always been in Ethiopia. But Ethiopians don't know nothing about it. Why though? Because Ethiopians are not being taught their history, because the leaders that would have taught you these things, Great Britain got rid of them.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that point. To be honest, there's a lot Ethiopian history for it was even education per se was for elites in society. And before, previously, Ethiopia used to be, I think, predominantly, although they were Muslims all the time, it used to be how can I say, there used to be an Orthodox church, and the people in that nation who got an education were members of that church. So they were elites, so the rest of the population did not. Education was through the church and the state were intertwined. So a lot of people were not part of the church and therefore didn't have that education. Education came later on.
And see, I think since you said that, people don't understand education is a form of colonized. If you're not properly educated, you are colonized. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people understand that. Like, colonization is not just a white man ruling you. That's not just what colonization is. Colonization is when you don't know your own information. That's the first form of colonization. That's why they came with us, teaching us the Bible. Like, they stole the Bible from Ethiopia and then came back and tried to teach them what they stole from them. And see, this is how Ethiopians are colonized. That's why when you go to church in Ethiopia, you got a white Jesus. How can you be from Ethiopia, where you have the original paintings of a black Jesus in your original country, and come to America and put up a white one? How?
Yeah, for sure. I take your point.
You see what I'm saying? So that's the form of colonization we speaking on.
Yeah, I think there's different forms of colonization per se. It doesn't have to be, someone doesn't have to come into your land and subjugate you and steal your resources and imprison you, and like what was, for example, happening in Congo with the Belgians. There can be different, it can be mental colonization, your way of thinking, your perception of yourself and your people, and even your perspective and outlook on the world. If somebody can control that, then I think that could be a form of colonization. But when you say colonization, what springs to mind automatically, especially in the context of the African continent, is colonization by way of coming into your land, stealing your resources. So that's what automatically springs to mind. So if you speak about that mental aspect, or that controlling you in subversive ways, then I can concede.
So what you say, like, Eritrea used to be connected, to Ethiopia. That used to be, more of a one land. It wasn't as divided as it is now.
Yeah.
So if the Romans came into Africa and divided Africa,
yeah,
and now they're just telling you only this little piece of land in Africa is not colonized. You don't second guess that. Like, why would they only separate Ethiopia from the rest of Africa?
The only reason, honestly, if I can speak frankly, the only reason Ethiopia was not colonized is because in Africa previously, we know that there was no division like there is now, so-called hard borders. Before, everybody was living as like people were living freely, people were moving. It was more like kingdoms and villages.
It was
and
more tribes, but
yeah,
it was more
tribal.
tribes. So
Yeah, so the British and the French and all the colonizers came, and they they created borders to facilitate the stealing of Africa's resources. The only reason Ethiopia didn't was not in that context or colonized was because there was already the Christian kingdom. So let me just put it in this way. The Ethiopian Empire, before it became modern day Ethiopia, already had like established borders, and there was already a group of people who were determined to create a land for themselves, and they already started something called nation building, and within like a geographical location, and they already had some semblance or some resemblance of a state. That was done by force, by the way, because at that time the creation of Ethiopia was conquering other kingdoms and others, and it was centralized, so that was happening in Ethiopia as opposed to the other parts of the African continent. Like if you go to the southern of Africa and maybe the north, this wasn't the case. People were just living, freely
Yeah,
and in
but you gotta look at it this way, brother. You said the colonizers, Ethiopia always had a port because that's what people used to leave Ethiopia. North Ethiopia was a port, Eritrea.
yeah,
But when
yeah,
the colonizers came, they took the port away from Ethiopia.
yeah,
So if you're not colonized, people not gonna take away your port.
And that's land.
That's your
taking over.
land. So if somebody can take something from you at their will, they took your artifacts, they took people, they took your port, and they surrounded you off where nobody can come in and nobody can come out of Ethiopia without them knowing. Because they now own the port. So if you don't have a port where you could
yeah,
expedite goods into your country,
yeah.
you
I
are
take your point.
colonized because you're gonna have to depend on somebody else.
I take your point, but if we actually if we go to the definition of colonization, I get your point. What you're saying, it's a logical and a feasible argument that you make. But if we move towards the Eritrean situation, Eritrea, the people of Eritrea wanted. It wasn't like the Italians came there and kicked everybody out and then took that part. It was the native people of Eritrea, so it's the province of Ethiopia, that said they wanted liberty because the central government was not, how do I say, favorable towards them. Did they get help from Western nations? 100%. Did maybe the Western nations indoctrinate them and tell them you need to get with a hidden or ulterior motive? Possibly to separate or to cut off Ethiopia. But the people Eritrea, who broke away are the natives of that specific piece of land. It's not like the Italians came. Italians colonized it, but then they left a few years later. That Eritrea, so-called Eritrea, but it wasn't like anybody came and took that land and kicked anyone out. It's the native people there who were always native there that said we don't want to be part of Ethiopia, and they decided to break off. I don't know if that makes sense.
So earlier we were talking about, African Americans being connected to Ethiopia. Would you say that Ethiopia has ever been in a slave trade?
Um, Honestly, in Ethiopia, yes, there was slavery, meaning, but it wasn't colonizers like coming and taking people out. There was slavery within Ethiopia, so different groups, people were powerful groups, or people were like majority groups enslaved other smaller groups, and they
Yeah,
sold them
we understand like the
indentured
workers.
servants.
Sometimes slaves could
Indentured
just be
servants.
workers, but we're talking
Yeah,
about actually people who have left the land to go
yeah,
somewhere
there was
else.
indentured. Yeah, there was indentured. I don't know, like there's something called indentured servitude. And in fact, up until the late 19th century, there were slaves in Ethiopia, but the slaves, for the most part, in Ethiopia were not taken out or exported out by the central government. The people could leave on their own accord, and a lot did leave because, there wasn't like a lot of freedom and civil rights in Ethiopia because it was a monarchy for the longest time, different kings and, yeah, emperors. But the slaves of Ethiopia, there were slaves, but they were enslaved by other Ethiopians. The Ethiopians were not enslaved or sold to Europeans or whatever for the most part. So Ethiopians enslaved each other. So there was slavery, but not the sense like exporting Ethiopians to other or forcibly selling them like that. If that makes sense.
Like King Menelik, he had sent some Ethiopians to America to work on the railroad over here. But he didn't have control of how they were treated in America.
Yeah.
They didn't know the information that was going on in America, like how we know today.
They have no news.
So there's a lot of information that you guys don't know about the connection between the people who have left Ethiopia and gone to other places, even gone to West Africa. They could have been enslaved in West Africa.
I
If
mean,
Africans were enslaving other Africans, you don't know where they ended up.
well, I would say you have a point, and it could possibly be. I can't say with 100% certainty, but I'm telling you from what I've read. I've actually researched this topic and read it because slavery, modern day slavery. In fact, the British actually wanted it to end, and when the world stopped slavery, there was still slavery going on in Ethiopia. So it just shows you how long it took. So there was Ethiopian enslaved, and even up until today, it's like some groups are looked down upon, and they actually call them slaves and stuff. Even though that it was not legislated, like before, but it shows the legacy of what happened in the past, where people were like, it was on a class type of thing. The rich enslaved the poor, if I
But
can put
see,
it.
and I think this is where we draw the line at when it comes to, because the Bible is an Ethiopian book. This is stuff that can be proven. And also the prophecy of the Bible has everything to do with restoring Ethiopia. That's why, so when you talk about this dynasty and this solid-minded gift, the solid-minded gift is God's wisdom. So if I was to ask you, would you say God's wisdom is in the earth among the religions, or God's wisdom is not in the earth among the religions?
Personally, I can only speak subjectively about myself. I would say I believe that the religions, the Abrahamic religions, do have a lot of important truths related by God. So I would agree with that. But yeah, it's not something I can prove 100% because
I just want to get with your outlook, because you got to understand the prophecy is about the solid-minded gift being restored, because the solid-minded gift has been tore down. It's been removed, and it's been given to a nation we know is corrupt. We know the British Empire is corrupt. It ain't no, everybody know this. Everybody know the British Empire is corrupt. So if we know these things, and these are the people that's supposed to have the gift, then this is why the Bible talks about the saints gonna judge the world. So when we say people are colonized, again, if you don't know the information, because everybody have their different version of colonization, but colonization is just another nation that's controlling you, no matter how they control you, whether it's economic, whether it's information, or whether they actually standing over you, telling you what to do. It's all colonization. Colonization is one word, but like you said, you have many different forms of it.
yeah.
But it's a reason why Ethiopians have been forced to believe they are not colonized. That's another part of the trick. Because the first thing the best way to trick somebody is to make them think what they are actually not. But they actually are. Like, oh, I'm gonna make them think they're not colonized. I'm gonna make them think this. But the whole time we got them colonized.
Yeah,
So that's why I say, so when you talk about the Solomon gift, the wisdom of God, that has been stripped from the Ethiopians. And not only the Ethiopians, the historical history of the country. The solid-minded gift is what make Ethiopians special. That's like, people always talk about what's so special about Ethiopia. The solid-minded gift. You ask Ethiopians about it, they know nothing about it. Because this information has been taken away from you by the colonizers who are in control of Ethiopia. And this is the British Empire, because Ethiopia what? Is starved out. Ethiopia been starved out. That's why you said people leave Ethiopia for better opportunities, because they are starving, so they got to depend on another nation. And who have Ethiopia been dependent on? The same person who they've been dependent on when Haile Selassie ran to them in 1930. Haile Selassie ran to Great Britain in 1930.
Yeah, yeah, no, that is true.
This is the king.
I can't deny that.
This is what I'm saying. Ethiopia has been dependent on the British Empire for a mighty long time. And if you depend on somebody else, these are the people who are controlling you.
Yeah, I will say this about the emperor. He fled, but the people continue to fight a guerrilla warfare. So the people continue to fight even when he left. But the point I want to make is there's a very poignant saying that I heard in a movie. I know Americans are big on movies. And it goes like this: the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. I don't know if you watched what's it called? The Devil's Advocate. And that literally Al Pacino, a classic performance.
That was a good movie. That was a fire movie.
I think this can be applied to many different scenarios and thinking and stuff. But in any way, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think I get your point, the point you're trying to make. You clarified, and yeah, even though we don't agree on all the maybe our perspectives, but I take your perspective and I get where you're coming from. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate the convo, man. Peace, peace. At least we got a chance to speak to a respectable Ethiopian today, because some people, like I said, if you can't have a decent conversation like that, like I said, it's not about you saying yes to me, but it's about a decent conversation. That's what proves you have decency in you. A lot of people just don't have it. You know, you can't control yourself. You know, so, but people understand it's many forms of colonization. It's not just somebody standing over you and they don't belong in your country. You know, it's somebody because they control everything that go on in your country. That's colonization. You know, and like I said, we just been tricked to believe, you know. That's why don't nobody know the people behind us. Don't nobody know the people behind us. This is what make Ethiopia great. It would be no greatness without them. What they did make Ethiopia great. Ethiopians know nothing about.
Peace, peace.
Yes, sir. May them rest in peace. Thank you for the chance, bro.
Peace, peace, brother.
All right, this is Afro from Ethiopia, and I was watching you talking, and I've got this a different opinion than you. I don't believe Ethiopia was ever colonized because from back in history, the attempt, there was too many attempts, not only the Battle of Adwa, but there are several attempts from back in the days, more than 7 times, specifically by the Italians, okay? The pressure is not only from Ethiopians, but from the whole European country. The US attempted, the Great Britain attempted, and the Italian attempted. But most of all, the Italian attention was supported by other European countries too. But the point is, those attempts were not successful at the time.
Brother man, you gotta understand that.
Okay.
That when somebody is able to come in your country and take what they want as will, because Ethiopia had a lot of valuable things that help you understand their history. It was a lot of valuable things, and there's a lot of valuable people because, like the brother man said from Ethiopia, only the church knew what was taking place. The people didn't know nothing. Only the people who was a part of the church, was of the royal families, they knew stuff that was going on. The people didn't know nothing. So we have to take into consideration when these people get unalive, all that information that the people know nothing about is now gone. So,
okay, let me put it this way, brother. If somebody, just
hear me out. This is why when we bring Ethiopians up and ask them about their history, because the first form of colonization is take your history away. Take your past away. Take everything you know, so you're going to believe everything I tell you. So if you believe everything I tell you, and I'm not even a part of your history, then I have colonized you. So we have to understand it. So colonization is also through information. So, but if a country,
I agree.
If another country can come to your country and take at will, you are colonized. So this is what people think. You think when the Italians left after they 5 years, you think they were just over there shaking hands? No, they was putting stuff to colonize you, getting rid of leaders. So when we bring our I'm gonna say that again.
I was listening to you, bro.
Let me say this.
I was listening to you.
I'm about to give you the mic back. They was getting rid of leaders, so the people can believe whatever the other nations gonna tell them. That's why they was unaliving leaders. They wasn't getting rid of the people. They was getting rid of the leaders. And once you get rid of the leaders, you can colonize the people. That's all that happened in Ethiopia.
Okay, that might be true, but not in Ethiopia. That could be the strategy that they've been using to colonize countries in Africa, but that was not exactly what happened in Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, between the war, we never been defeated. Hear me out, because this is my history you're talking about, and this is my own point of view now and my understanding that I know about my history.
That's not
what
true.
happened was, between this fight, Ethiopia won 2 times. I mean, the way you're trying to put it, if I give you an example for that matter, tonight, let's say, if you get robbed by intruders, okay, if they stole your goods and your TVs and whatever that you have in your household, does that mean that stoler or that thief is become the man of the house
Well,
with
no.
all the sudden attack?
If he unalive me,
Okay.
he will. If he unalive me, he will be the man of the house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm the man and I'm gone. So he would be the man of the house. So that's what I'm saying. But you know, okay, 1868, when they siege
You
Magdala,
see?
and do you know anything about the
Okay.
Magdala, the siege of Magdala?
A what?
The siege of Magdala. Do you know about that in 1868?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You said yeah?
It's about the King Tedros II.
Correct. Okay. The British won. They burnt down the whole Magdala. Now, Tedros was the king of kings at that time. Tedros was the one that was trying to what? Restore Ethiopia. A lot of the other kings, they weren't trying to restore Ethiopia. They didn't give a damn. So Tedros was fighting all the princes of the providence. That's why it's called the era of the princes. So Tedros rose to power to restore the economic things in Ethiopia because Ethiopia, it was looking real bad. So, but when they unalived Tedros, they didn't have no other king that was going to step up and what? Do this. Yohanan stepped up. What happened to him? He got unalived. So you got to understand, leaders was being unalived, bro. And when you unalive these leaders, especially good leaders, because everybody in Ethiopia was not a good leader, as the Bible tell you, they did evil in the sight of God. So many of
You're right.
many of our kings weren't even righteous. So if you kill, if you unalive a few righteous men, then you could bring whatever information into the country. This what happened to Ethiopia. That's why I want to ask you this. Do you know anything about the Solomonic gift?
Yeah.
What is the Solomonic gift?
Yeah, this history is related to Queen Sheba and King Solomon.
Now,
And
what if I
it's
told
about the
you?
covenant.
Now, what if I told you the Queen Sheba and the Solomon story is the same thing as the Jesus and Mary story?
Jesus and what? Who?
The Jesus and Mary story is the same thing as the Solomon and Sheba story.
How
See,
so?
because it's the same parable. These are parables. That's why the Solomonic gift is something that's in Ethiopia that really consists of Ethiopian history. Because it proves where the wisdom of God came from. That's why you have the Solomonic dynasty. You don't have the Solomonic dynasty because this is a myth and it don't exist. This actually existed. But the British Empire...
Yeah, it does.
Okay, but the British Empire now has changed that from Ethiopia. And now they have them in whatever. I don't know what y'all got now in Ethiopia. I guess y'all got a republic or something. What does Ethiopian government consist of?
What does Ethiopia?
Yeah, like they don't have the Solomonic gift no more. Like Ethiopia don't have the solid.
No. It's a federalism.
Federalism?
That's
what y'all call it? Oh, federalism. Well, I know they don't have the Solomon gift no more. Now again,
not anymore.
This is what make Ethiopia special. But like I said, I ain't really hear you let me know what was the Solomon gift. Because if you don't know what the Solomon gift is, then you don't know Ethiopian history.
Whoa. Come on, man.
Well, okay. Well, look, just let me know.
If you put it that way.
Prove me wrong. I could be wrong. I'm just speaking hypothetically because I don't know what you know. That's why I'm asking. So what is the Solomon
exactly, bro?
According to
You know what? You know what? For the first of all, I joined this conversation to clarify some of the confusion about Ethiopian being colonized and has been manipulated and have been taken all of the powers by the Britain. I want to make clear about that. And you were saying like now Ethiopian become has a landlocked country because the Britain took all the borders from it and everything, and people are migrating to other countries because of I don't know colonialism. You were saying that, and I just joined this conversation to clarify some of the point because during this kingdom, no one was left out of the country or asking about asking refuge to other country during the Solomonic kingdom or dynasty.
So
But after that,
do you know who this do you know who this is?
which one?
Right here.
That's Haile Selassie.
No, this guy. The young man right here.
The little one, or
Yeah, the child that's in the brown color.
I think that's Alemayo, a son of Tedros.
Yeah, Alamayo. So wasn't Alamayo taken
Yeah.
away from Ethiopia by the British?
Yeah. He did.
So there were people that were also taken, including his mother, right?
Yeah. But I think his mother passed
You
away
gotta
on the
understand,
road.
bro. Look, the only reason you know that these people was took it because these people was of the royal family, so that's why.
That's what happened when you get defeated at the battle, bro.
I'm
It
just saying,
doesn't mean you're
hold up.
colonized.
That's like right now in battle, many people might get unalive. But if the king get unalive, everybody gonna know the king got unalive. Nobody gonna know about the other people that got unalive. See what I'm saying? Like if a king get taken, everybody gonna know about the king that got taken. It might be many other people that got taken, but nobody gonna know about the other people that got taken. Everybody gonna know about the king that got taken. That's the same thing back then. They had other people who was very valuable to Ethiopia, and they got unalive, bro. And this what brings in colonization, because most Ethiopians dealt with word of mouth until the late 1900s when they
You know, brother. Let me just say this.
Hold up. Haile Selassie brought handwriting to Ethiopia as a majority, right? Haile Selassie brought handwriting. Haile
what?
Selassie set up the schools. Before that, it was word of mouth. It was word of mouth before that. So pay attention.
No, it was not. It was not word of mouth, bro.
Brother, man,
This is my history you're talking about. Don't be so sure, bro. It was not a word of mouth. We got a school.
Okay, so
We got a school at the church.
So what you telling me?
Haile Selassie only bring a modern school, modern education. Haile Selassie is responsible for the modern education. It doesn't mean that there is no education in Ethiopia.
So slow down. What is modern education?
Okay. What?
What is modern education?
What do you mean? What is modern? I mean, you want me to explain it to you, or you're just asking me?
Well, yeah, because I said what you said.
Okay, modern education in a sense, as we all know. You need a school. You need a Yeah, I'm trying to explain that to you.
Go ahead.
Modern education is this. Simply speaking, like this is the Europeans or Americans school of thought. Okay. You just gather students in a compound. So you need to have a facilities and faculties and teachers and gather students at the same room and you teach. That's what they call it a modern education. But before that, Ethiopia has its own indigenous way of thought. Okay, at the church.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that we never had it.
Listen, brother, man. The indigenous way of the way Africans used to learn was by a teacher, and you sat down and you listened to him speak. It wasn't you sat down in a classroom with a pen and paper and books. That's not modern. That's not the indigenous way of Africans. It was word of mouth. The only people that dealt with handwriting were certain priests, and most of the priests couldn't read and write. That's why you have people like they so-called in Islam, Muhammad couldn't read and write.
Come on, you are mistaken.
Bro.
I mean, we have our own forms and scriptures, brother. How come you say that? I mean,
Because
we got evidence too.
Everybody was not reading the scriptures. Everybody didn't have a scroll. Everybody in Ethiopia.
That's true. That was limited.
But
the access was limited.
Brother, even like today, everybody is not included in the Orthodox Church. Everyone can't just go to the books in the Orthodox Church if you go to Ethiopia.
Still to this day.
You gotta be connected.
That's true.
You gotta be connected to the priests.
Yeah, that's true.
Fact, most people in Ethiopia can't read their own language.
They don't even read Geese.
They own original, your original language, it's been switched, but you're not colonized. So these are the things, man, we just, and see, they want you to believe you're not colonized, so you won't never acknowledge you are colonized so you can know the truth. That's all we doing. We just bringing this out.
I mean, bro, if you put it this way, I might agree with you. Ever since 1986, yeah, to be frankly, after this, the Solomonic kingdom got rid of. It was back in 1960s or 1958 during the Derg regime. You know, the most of the civil war. It was the new era of the civil war.
Correct.
Between
getting really hella salami.
the too many forces in a country. You know, during that time, it created too many conflicts. You know, maybe for those refugee, for some kind of lack of education, you know, for most of the problems that happen during now, it starts from there, not because of during the kingdom time. It happens after that, because this new generation, the student force, they call themselves, or the Derg regime, they call themselves, they couldn't take a good care of the country because of the civil conflict they have for the past 30 and 45 years. Many things happen, you know. That kind of this kind of lack of education and this exodus and refugee kind of chaos start to happen after that. It's not because of those guys on the wall, you know. Those guys has died
Well,
when
no,
they
but
are
I'm
trying
not
to
saying they are the reason why it's colonized. I'm just bringing the fact to my Ethiopian brothers and sisters that you was
I mean,
confused.
yeah. I was about to make my point. Because of that time, the British and the Europeans start to select their own leaders, their own puppet leaders. You know, that way you could say we've been manipulated into this colonialism, not because we got defeated or something. You
That's what
know,
like the
directly.
British.
You know what?
What a
You know what?
manipulated
I
colonizer.
speak the truth. I'm not just defending my country. I tell you exactly what happened at the same time too. I mean, right now, because people who can speak in English is, you know, is treated like more educated than the, you know, than the one who can speak Ge'ez or Amharic. People, you know, it's a new school of thought.
And
That
see,
way, we're colonized. We can say, I agree with you. Okay, if
so I
that
want to
is
ask
the
you
way
this:
we've been brainwashed,
you ever seen the movie Roots?
I can take.
Well, yeah, I can
A
say
what?
you ever seen the movie Roots?
A what root?
Yeah,
Roots?
yeah.
You mean Kunta Kinte?
No, it's a movie. It's a movie called
Is
Roots.
that?
I know that they show us a lot in America. I don't know. You might have.
It's a serious movie, yeah. It's
It's a
about the
serious
guy
movie.
called the Kunta Kinte.
Now,
It's about his roots.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
about them changing his name. He couldn't have his African name. He couldn't speak his African language. This is how the colonizers colonize you. This is the first start. Is to get right here. They get in your mind. So colonization is brainwashing.
Manipulation.
See, the whole world is colonized because the British Empire has brainwashed us all. Not just the Ethiopians. They brainwashed us all. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. That part I understand. I'm with
Okay,
you, brother.
well, that's
But
all
what
I'm
I'm
coming
saying
from,
is,
and that's why. But see, communication rules the nation. So you see, a lot
exactly,
of us can't
exactly.
communicate because of the brainwashing. So I can't even
Yeah.
communicate with my brother in Ethiopia or my sister in Ethiopia because of the colonizer brainwashing them. They got them pissed off at me. I didn't take nothing from Ethiopia, but Ethiopians are pissed off at me. The brainwashing, though.
Yeah, because
You know what I'm
because of your
saying? So
title,
that's
you
what's
know,
affecting me.
your title, it was a bizarre. You know, even when I saw it, it's like Ethiopia is colonized. I'm like, hell no. Who said that? Because you know, those warriors behind your wall, those kings has paid a tremendous amount of prices. You know, they have paid blood and bones on that ground.
Oh, well,
You
brother,
know,
man, that's why
to
we.
protect their people and their country, and that's exactly what they did. Over their pictures, if you put such a font, you know, you will make everybody pissed at you.
Oh no,
That's why
no,
they were pissed off at
no,
you.
no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not why they pissed.
Honestly.
No, brother, man, we pay homage to these. We pay homage to a lot of these people. That's like right now, we are not up here saying they are the reason why we are colonized. These other warriors. That's why we have their picture up there. We want the world to see them. We want the world to see the warriors who look like us, who fought for something and wasn't a slave. So that's why we have the title is just a title that this is our
I mean,
backdrop for all
by
our
the way,
stuff.
earlier this moment, you raised some point with a guy called Pluto, I guess. You were talking about the labor support that has been sent by the King Menelik to the US.
Correct.
And I think it was my sister. She was mentioning about that. I mean, on that such cases, I'm with you. There is a history like that. That the Ethiopians has been sent as a labor force aid to the US, as military force aid to the South Korea. The
Yeah,
kings are sent,
and there's a lot
and
of
at the same time, there was this region that the slave trade was so famous. Even there was, at the border, there was a huge amount of slave trade at the time, from Ethiopia to the Yemen, from Ethiopia to the Egypt or something. During that time, most of Ethiopians can go there. Even at the Holocaust, there was Ethiopian soldiers, most of them at the front side, to fight against Germany. I even heard the warrior song at the battle cry of the war. The battle cry of the war was the Ethiopian song. The Ethiopian soldiers was at the Holocaust defending France from Germany at the same time. So there would be a huge amount of possibility that could happen, that Ethiopians could be black Americans, like from back in the days, because there
Okay.
was too many opportunities that could happen at the time.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. Like I say, you got a lot of information. How old are you, bro?
I'm 28.
Okay, yeah, you got a head on your shoulder, bro. You got a head on you. So are you still in Ethiopia or are you in America?
No, I'm like on the east of Ethiopia right now.
Okay, that's what's up. So right now, if you knew a group of people that was coming with the Solomonic gift to restore the Solomonic dynasty to its original God order, are you with that or are
Yes.
you against that?
Come again? Sorry.
Would you be for a group
Come
of
again.
people?
The question, you were breaking up.
I'm breaking up. So right now, there's a group of people who is coming with the Solomonic gift to bring back to Ethiopia to restore David's throne, to unify Africa, because the African Union is in Ethiopia. But the African Union is in Ethiopia because God's wisdom comes back to Ethiopia. So we have it. That's what our movement consists of. See, a lot of people don't know this. So when we have these titles, you have to understand, I have a petition to return all the Ethiopian treasures that the British have taken. So these are things that we are doing, and we have dedicated our life to doing these things. So when we have these titles, it ain't just us having these titles up here because we want to talk about Ethiopia or we just want to have a conversation. No, we have a real movement right now. Just as Marcus Garvey, because a lot of Ethiopians don't know about Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was in contact with Zatu to get 2 million black people back to Ethiopia to rebuild Ethiopia. So Ethiopia wouldn't be in the condition it's in now. Now, just imagine if 2 million black people left America in the 1920s to return to Ethiopia. What would Ethiopia be like right now? It will be restored back to its ancient glory. So the African Americans returning back to Ethiopia is Bible prophecy. But we just not returning back to Ethiopia just because we're running from America. No, we are returning back to Ethiopia to restore Ethiopia back to its ancient glory. This is the Bible prophecy. The African Americans,
Yeah, that I know.
nor the Ethiopians know this. Because of what? The colonizers.
I'm down with that. I'm telling you, I'm down with that. Restoring and stuff, I'm down with that.
That's
But
what,
the thing
brother
is,
man. So
I
I
don't
just
think
want you to know that's what we're doing. Before you have any other wrong thoughts, that's what we are doing. You see what I'm saying? So I just want people to know that. People don't know what we are actually doing. They just come on TikTok and hear what we're saying.
Exactly, because of those phones that you're hanging up on the wall. That's why, bro. Even when I see it for the first time, I'm like, over the picture of those kings, those warriors. When I see a font says like Ethiopia was colonized, I was pissed off at first. What do they mean? So I just get in and listen. You see, this is much more better. This is more descriptive. We can understand what you are after right now.
Well, yeah.
The
But
return of
sometimes
Ethiopian
hey,
treasures
but
taken
look,
on
but
the.
look, if I were to put this
Yeah,
up,
this will unite us better than the previous one. The return
but
of
we gotta look
Ethiopia
like this.
treasures
If I were to
taken
put
on
this up
April
here,
1960. You
if I
even
were to
have
put
the
this up here, you
circa?
probably wouldn't have came up here though.
Uh-huh.
You probably wouldn't have came up here. Cause you know why? I'd been like, well, I ain't got nothing to say about that. But see, you got something to say about Ethiopian colonized. So the Ethiopian colonized is to spark a conversation with righteous people. Because no matter what,
Okay.
first it spark you, but since you righteous, you was able to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about, man. This ain't for everybody. This for some
April
people.
1868. Yeah, you even have the circa from Imperial Tedros II.
Right. So we have
That's
a
the circa. That's where it starts from.
right. We have a petition and a declaration sent out to even Ethiopia, the Holy See. We're here to judge the Roman Catholic Church for what they have done. Because it's not only about, them taking treasures from Ethiopia, they also took people. And these people were the scattered people that the Bible is talking about that will restore Ethiopia.
Great. You see, now everybody would like this. But I mean, I'm with you over this. But the thing is, like, it says like 1868. So it is specifically during that circa that you guys after, or is it about the whole treasure?
No, it's about the whole Ethiopia. The treasures is just part of what we're doing that's gonna help us gain our economic power back. You know how much gold they looted from Ethiopia? You know what kind of money those treasures will bring Ethiopia? So returning these things will also help our economic struggle that's in Ethiopia. So this is why we're doing it. Like I said, everything is just steps and everything is just pieces to the bigger puzzle of what we're doing is actually, again, restoring Ethiopia to its ancient glory. Again, which is
We
Bible
would love
prophecy.
that.
This
We
is
are
Bible
with you.
prophecy.
We are with you if that is. But on the other hand, there is such a piece of the puzzle, as you said, that we need to fulfill. I mean, do you know what's the current situation of Ethiopia right now?
What's the current situation?
It's war.
Yeah, tribal war. Well, same thing we do in America. The same thing y'all do in Ethiopia, we doing
Yeah.
in America.
Y'all got Bill Gates coming in Ethiopia talking to I forgot his name, Abba something.
Giving y'all fake food.
The current PM?
I think he's the minister. Prime Minister.
Yeah, you're talking about the current PM? Yeah. We have a prime minister, not a president. The higher superior leader is the prime minister.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, he introduced Bill Gates over there to Ethiopia recently. So, and you got the Pope coming to Ethiopia. So it's a lot of stuff that we know.
That's what we don't like either. We're against that. We're against that. We don't need those guys to come into our country and to spoil or to poison whatever they got in their hand. Because from their previous history, we have noticed and learned too many things.
Well, brother man,
As soon as their foot step on in this country, things start to change within a day. So we don't appreciate those kind. I mean, we've got so many blissful elders and priestess and popes in our country. Our current government is lock them up. He's imprisoning them. I don't know what's the important part of inviting some white dude from Vatican and this guy from there, like, but it's
money.
unnecessary. Is
That's
obviously,
why right now is
and exactly from from back in the days, from the previous history, always the European use a guy like this
that's
up
what I'm
against
saying.
us who works against his country.
So now it's time to fix the problem rather than talk about the problem. That's why we created a plan. So it's time for what? To reunite with your distant relatives which are all these African Americans, all these people on this island who bring economic wealth. We got the NBA, we got the NFL, we got music. All this stuff is economic power. So Africans, but right now they got African and African Americans fighting right now. Why? Brainwashing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So when you do
That is
find a
right.
person who is not brainwashed and able to understand these things, it's very important on what we do. It's not important on what we say. It's very important on what we do now that we recognize, well, damn, I'm not brainwashed. Damn, I'm not brainwashed. Damn, I got another brother ain't brainwashed. Well, we need to do something. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we're not doing, because this is what this technology should be. You way in Ethiopia right now, way in America. But this technology has enabled us to what? Reconnect. But for what? Just for us to talk or for us to do something? And that's the part a lot of my brothers at, like, and that's why I said,
Yeah, bro. But let me ask you, brother. Let me ask you one thing, just to make it fair. This platform of yours. I mean, I've been watching some of the comments. This font, Ethiopia is colonized. It seems like a motto, you know. But to make it as a discussion title, you're supposed to add a question mark with an exclamation mark. That would be much more genuine, you know. But this one, it won't be fair, and it won't be a good title to discuss about, because as we discussed like previously when I explained about the Battle of Adwa and everything and the price they pay and everything, it makes us sensitive, you know, because we're not talking about, I mean, we agreed upon that they brainwashed us over the time, but not during that time, you know, not during this kingdom, those warriors, those heroes, you know. It would be so offensive to the most Ethiopian to see this Ethiopia colonized with exclamation mark, you know. It wouldn't be fair. It
I
wouldn't be
want to ask you
nice.
this.
You know, at least you should add a question mark next
That's
to
cool, I heard you,
exclamation
but you
mark.
gotta look at it like this.
So that would be a title.
Do the truth hurts or do it feel good?
A what?
Do the truth hurts or do it feel good?
What truth? It's not a truth, man. Colonized, not during this time. I think we've agreed upon like early a minute ago.
Hold up. Between the
This
18
colonization has begun after
hold up,
1958, man.
listen. Hold up, slow down. Between the 1860s and the 1930s, this was when Ethiopia, that's when the door was open in 1868. Until 1930, they was coming in that door, coming out that door, coming in that door, working on how they can conquer Ethiopia. So by really the 1930, when Haile Selassie left and Italians came in for 5 years, they had done everything they needed to do. They had searched out every leader they was gonna fight against the Britain. They searched them out. They went in.
No, Italians came for 5 years. They didn't do nothing. They were boiling spaghetti and fried in some eggs, and that's what all they did. Nothing more they did.
Hold up. The British and the American soldiers had to come help Ethiopia. If they wouldn't have helped Ethiopia, it was over with. Like, you gotta understand, the British and the American soldiers, the American black soldiers, had to help Ethiopia. And if they didn't fly those planes and British didn't come in and intervene, Ethiopia would have lost. So they needed help.
Do you know the guy named called the Captain John Robinson?
Say it again.
John Robinson. Do you know him? Do you know the guy?
John Robinson?
Robertson?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, who? Like, according to who?
He was the Air Force.
In America?
He's the Air Force.
You talking about the brother that helped?
He's a black American. He brought us five warplanes.
Correct, yeah.
During the Major War, during the King Haile Selassie War. He was from U.S., I think, from, what do you call it, Mississippi? Like, he owns the college now. There is a college, the aviation college, by his name. He even died here in Ethiopia during the war against Italian.
Yeah, he got
He's the first guy who, gave a training for the Ethiopian Air Force fighters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he the one got shot down.
Yeah, I mean, there was a supportive movement at the time. He responded upon the king's callings, at the time. He was the first guy who responded to the king's callings.
Correct. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of these people had history in Ethiopia way before, like, and that's like I say, man. You gotta understand, colonization is information. So that when Italians was there, bro, they was getting rid of leaders who had information, man. This is how you colonize. You get rid of the leader. That's why when they took slaves, the leader, they covered his mouth. So he couldn't give instruction, he couldn't talk. Because in Africa, they wasn't passing out paper. They wasn't passing out books. Books is a form of British colonization. That's what they did with the Bible. They
Yeah. On that part, where I'm with you. We agree. Yeah, I agree, bro.
This is what a form of colonization is. You take something, because Ethiopians had scrolls. The Bible was in scrolls. It wasn't in the book. The Romans took the scrolls, created the book, and then gave it back to us with the information being colonized, because they put dates on it. You see what I'm saying? They changed the names and they taught you different. So this is colonization. That's all we're saying. Like I said, you already agreed upon that. So this is the truth. The lie is Ethiopia is not colonized. That's pacifying the Ethiopians.
Okay. Yeah, you see how now is our moment. You and I, we're gonna have our own differences now. We need to be specific about this. Ethiopia is colonized when, it has to depend on the time. Because back in 400 years ago, Africa, the whole Africa continent was free before 400 years ago.
Hold on, brother, man.
This is slavery starts.
400 years ago. Nobody up here was 400 years. All these men is between 1860 and the 1930s. Everybody.
Yeah. Because, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so we're not talking about 400 years ago. We're talking about from 1860 to the 1930s.
No, you're not. You're not listening to me, I guess. It needs a time, It needs a circa, a time, or the way you write your fonts, Ethiopia is colonized, ? And you could have your obligation mark after that, exclamation mark. I mean, if it is about what do you call it, discussion. But this one seems like a motto, or as it's something for sure.
No, brother.
If you put, let me tell you this. If you put the former prime minister, the late prime minister, the current prime minister picture, and then Ethiopia is colonized, I will accept that. But not over this war.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We not our motto.
That's the only sensitive thing, sir. That's why I'm.
You gotta understand where we coming from. We want people to see. This is our background for every title we use, bro. This is our background. This is like a green screen. The topic is just a topic. It has nothing to do with the people behind you. The people behind us is our background to show, especially African Americans, Black royalty.
I'm gonna use your own word. You said like communication.
That's the whole thing about conversation. That's why I appreciate what you did. You came up here, you had a decent conversation to get understanding. So what you are an example of what everyone should do if they are a decent person. So no matter how you might feel, that's why you have a conversation. You don't assume nothing. Only a fool assumes. A wise person, and that's all we want to talk to is wise people. We don't want to talk to the fools. We want to talk to the wise people because they gonna come up and say, "What do you mean?" Only a fool gonna.
By the way, you guys both look like Habesha, Ethiopian, especially you guys.
Well, that's why we explained the royalty that's behind us and the colonization that's
you got Ethiopian blood in your root. You believe so?
Oh, I know so. I know so.
You know so.
Yeah, that's why I've been called to do the things I do. That's the whole point of me doing.
What about you, sister? I'm not Ethiopian too?
For show or clout. I got a real live movement. I got people behind.
Brother, that's what's up.
We going. Matter of fact, we've been to the Ethiopian embassy. We done sat down with some of the officials at the Ethiopian embassy. So that's why I'm trying to tell you. With a mind like you, this is a movement you need to be a part of to bring the connection. Because like I said, we might have our different end of the day, but if we working for the same cause, we'll sooner or later iron out those differences. It might be a little wrinkle right now, but if we put our fire together for one purpose, them wrinkles that we have, they'll get ironed out and everything will get smooth. Matter of fact, we have a sister in Ethiopia who's also with this movement. You see what I'm saying? So we do have people that understand what we're talking about and looking at it in the correct way. You know, as kind of as yourself, you're not really looking at it like we're trying to, you know, but people just have their own understanding. And that's just what communication is for.
Yeah, just as an idea, respectfully, sorry, respectfully, bro. This title is confusing a little bit. Just add a question mark with it, so that it would be a great title. I mean, you need to accept this. Like I was talking to you this whole time, seriously, because most of us become offended. If your title is confusing or if it pisses me off, I wouldn't be coming here and talking to you. This kind of people, you get just a few, and you are after to mobilize people. Yeah. This is about the nation movement.
The thing is that this is not our first time having this title. We had this title before without any people behind us. And a lot of Ethiopians still got mad because they still didn't want to understand our standpoint.
So because of the phone. Because of the word,
brother man, we're gonna put
at least,
we're gonna put
thank
a question mark behind
thank
it.
you finally, thank you, brother.
Now
I know, yeah, since you are respectful, now I know that you are Ethiopian.
See how it goes.
Ethiopian is respectful.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Add up a question mark.
Yeah. All right, peace.
But behind,
I didn't mean to kick it out like that.
Yeah.
But we forgot to put the website up there. Like I said, if y'all feel y'all want to be a part of what we are doing to restore Ethiopia, the website is in the bio. It's yajujuda.com. You can send us a message. You can link in with us. And again, we have a movement.
Who's that? Who's that? I don't know, people keep leaving. Peace. You're muted.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Peace.
Oh, yeah. So I see the topic, and a brother before me was telling you guys is supposed to put a question mark. So I want to just know why you're supposed to put a question mark.
Well, that's what he wanted.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that.
Because if you look at the history, by the way, I'm from the Horn of Africa. Yeah, I am from the Horn of Africa. If you look at the colonization in the Horn of Africa, if you now ask an Ethiopian person, was Eritrea part of Ethiopia? He will say yes, absolutely, it was part of Ethiopia. If you ask, is Ogadenia region part of Ethiopia? He will say yes, it is part of Ethiopia. All right, then Ogadenia was colonized by the Brits. Eritrea was colonized by the Italian. So how do we reconcile with this question? How can you say you're not colonized when part of your country was colonized? They will not have most of the time an answer for that, because you cannot pick and choose. You cannot pick a region that you call is yours, all of a sudden not being part of you. Ogadenia for today is still part of Ethiopia. All right. So These are questions that we need to discuss, we need to ask. Of course, history, we know why some parts of Africa was not touched or colonized and the rest was colonized. It's very simple to know why that is. But Ethiopia, the Ethiopians cannot go around the question, how is part of your country that you claim to be part of your country being colonized, and then you say, I'm not colonized. You cannot have the both. You cannot have the cake and eat it too. You understand? An Ethiopian will proudly say Eritrea was part of Ethiopia. Fine. If it's part of Ethiopia, that means Ethiopia was colonized by the Italians. And if we go back history, let's just go back. In the 15th century, Ethiopia was being colonized by other Africans. And I tell you why I say this. If you look at the conquest, if you read the book called Conquest of Abyssinia, these were the Somalis who fought that in a war with the Ethiopians, who took over Ethiopia. For 15 years, they had Ethiopia under their control. What do you call when people come to your country, conquer you, and rule you? Colonization. That's what basically is. And that's what happened in Ethiopia. So by the way, if we're looking at this picture, like Ethiopia would be the only country who've been colonized by other Africans. But that history you will never hear. Nobody will ever tell you this history. That history doesn't even exist. And that's a history that you can actually easily go on Google. There's a book called The Conquest of Abyssinia. That's the first colonization that Ethiopia endured. And this was by the Somalis. So why are the Ethiopians so hurt or angry when we're talking about their history of colonizations? Why are they coming in here telling you, no, put a question mark? No, there's no question mark. If you claim these lands and say these are part of Ethiopia and they've been colonized, my friend, yes, you've been colonized. You cannot have the cake and eat it too. That doesn't make any sense. No. You get it? So yeah, I just want to put those 2 cents out there. Like, just go on research. Research is the best way to find out history that people are denying. These are histories that they're denying. Ethiopia being colonized by other Africans, aka the Somalis. They went all the way. They destroyed Aksum Empire. They hold that under control for almost 20 years. And this is what you call a colonization.
Well, yeah, and see,
why are we not calling as what it is? You understand?
Yeah, like I say, I'm glad you was able, especially being from, the Horn of Africa, was able to say that, because that says a lot, especially for the people that's listening, to see what we are doing. And I want people to understand we have a movement. We are not up here people that are just talking and we don't have the strategy and the plan to fix these issues. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people get the motion that we are talking on here just to talk down on something. No, we are talking about this issue because it needs to be talked about so we can have the understanding and get on one accord to fix the problem. But we can't even get on one accord to fix the problem because you got the Ethiopians thinking they not colonized. So when you bring in the information to fix the problem, they don't want to accept it. So like I said, I really do appreciate you coming up and really.
Exactly, my brother. I'm just going to go down. But I just want you to think about one thing. And it is that when we are talking about the Ethiopian history, even though it is so long, we need to understand why is this narrative Ethiopia never been colonized so widely spread. Ethiopia has been colonized. There is no way to go around it. You have your land that has been colonized either by the Italians or by the British or by the Somalis. This is a fact. If you conquer a land and you possess that land and your laws are practiced in that land, that means that land has been colonized by foreign entity. And that has happened in the 15th century. And when we look at the small part that they like to choose and pick, which is like in the middle of Ethiopia, that part, why was it not colonized? Yes, there's books that we can read about where the Ethiopians themselves, they say, look, we're the only Christian nation in this continent. We are not black. We are like Christians in Ireland. And of course, Christianity played a big role why that small area has not been touched around until the Italian fascists came. So that is history that we know why that happened, because Africa as a whole has been colonized. But that little part that they want to pick and choose was because of Christianity. But we're not supposed to forget Ethiopia, Eritrea, the regions of Ogadennia that they like to claim that they say is part of us or have been part of us, has been colonized. So I'm going to close that door. If that part you're claiming is yours, is being colonized, my friend, you are colonized. You understand? It's very easy take. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming up. Peace, peace. I think another connection people don't want to accept is how the slave trade wasn't just enslaving every African. You know, a lot of people who were of royalty became slaves because there was something that they had that they needed to take away from their heritage. They need to take you from the things that you know of.
Because a lot of kings were fighting against a lot of kings. You got to understand, the Bible talks about the kings going against the kings. The kings did evil. The kings did evil. The kings did evil. The kings did evil. So what was the evil doing of the kings? Slaying your brother. That's why the Bible say, love your brother. You don't supposed to slay your brother. That's the mind of a beast. But a real human being not going to slay their brother. That's your brother. So when you have all these biblical teachings, why did you think it happen? Because a lot of kings were slaying their brothers. You know, a lot of kings was going against each other, warring. Because, like I say, if I want to take over territory, then I gotta lock you up. I don't want to coexist with you. I'm gonna lock you up because what? You know, so these things y'all always say we gotta understand it and really get in tune with our history. That's why I say they put it on TV, but they whitewash it.
Yep, what's up, guys?
What's going on? Peace, peace.
You hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, one of my sister who spoke previously, I think she got confused with a medieval history and the closed door moment of Ethiopian history. And I think she have Somali background. And I don't see a clear and neutral opinion from her side. And I would like to address some point that she took wrongly. For example, I'm Ethiopian by origin. We are Ethiopian. Ethiopia doesn't always reflect the current geographical country. Now we have this political map. The whole Africa used to be Ethiopia, from west to east. And also the Abyssinian kingdom that we call it includes the Puntland, part of Somalia, South Yemen, and Bab el Mandab. Bab el Mandab is nowadays southwest Saudi Arabia, Eritrea, Ethiopia, and North Sudan. So this and the highland of Ethiopia. So this is like the Abyssinian kingdom. And then who was the dominant? Of course, the Ethiopian Judeo-Christian constitutional monarchies at the time were the rulers. When they get power, they expand. When they get, they shrink. So they used to rule up to India.
You said when they get what? They shrink?
When they get defeated, like.
Okay.
they shrink, and because of power struggle or religious dominancy, there are many cases that we can, mention about. But in reality, the real Ethiopians, the central highland, was never being colonized. So if she said that they are colonized, which part of Ethiopia? India, of course, been colonized.
Well, I want to ask you this: Would you say the Central Highlands is where Tedros dwelt?
Theodros was provincial king, actually.
Well, no. I know what Tedros. I say, would you say Tedros dwelt in the Central Highlands of Ethiopia?
A northwest highland, northwest Ethiopian highland, not central highland. Central highland is Shoa.
Is what?
Shoa, where Minilik was born, just near Addis Ababa. Central Island is like the center of Ethiopia, the current Ethiopia.
Okay. So this is why we say now.
Yeah.
Would you say colonization is a form of changing information?
Changing information?
Yeah. Would you say that's a form of colonization? Because what I'm seeing now, a lot of people understand that. So I want to see what you agree with.
Well, I don't want to go in deep to a spiritual level.
No. This ain't deep spirit. I'm just asking you, do you agree that colonization is a form of changing information?
Well, I don't believe in. No way.
Okay, well, see, that's where we disagree at. That's where the line get drawn. Because if I get rid of all the leaders and I bring in a false history to Ethiopians, and you don't know what really went on, you colonize. That's the first form of colonization, is changing the information that's being passed down to you. That's the first step. So what I realized, Ethiopians don't even understand that they've been brainwashed.
No way.
Okay, brother man.
Okay.
Hold up.
Okay. Okay, I'll listen.
The solid-minded gift is the authority above all governments. That's why he will have the title King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The solid-minded gift come from Ethiopia. No other country had the solid-minded gift. This is what makes Ethiopia so important to the world. This is why Great Britain came to Ethiopia, because of the gift, God's gift to Solomon. Now, most Ethiopians don't even understand Solomon is allegory. Solomon is not an actual person. That's why it's a Solomon dynasty, which is a group of people who's supposed to withhold the mysteries of God. That's what Tedros' story was, the visionary. So, but when I ask Ethiopians, what is the solid-minded gift?
You have to give you right information. First, Wikipedia is not the right source of information for us.
This is not Wikipedia, brother.
Okay, the second thing, Solomonic dynasty came after the Ethiopian kingdom was there ruling for thousands of years. Let's go to Abraham. If you came to Solomon, let's go to Abraham, right?
This is not Wikipedia. This is a document. This is a document on the Crown Council on the Ethiopian, I think it's .org website, crowncouncil.org website.
Yeah, I know them.
And then this is a document that's given to us by Haile Selassie's grandson. So this is a document that he made and published it on that website.
Okay.
This is something that he said.
Okay, they claim.
In that document, he says that Haile Selassie bestowed upon Her Majesty and her consort, Prince Philip, the highest orders within the solid-minded gift. In every sense, they bow to each other with the compassion of understanding the greatness of which harnessed them together in service of their people. So they've worked together.
So Ethiopia is working together with the people who colonized the world.
Okay, now I get your point here. But the main object, you mentioned Solomon, right? Solomon was the king of David, son of the King David, right?
Well, no,
Solomon.
Solomon is allegory.
But before Yeah, before Solomon, before Israel was established as a country, Ethiopia used to be a country. If you remember, Abraham was ordered by God, you know, yeah, by
Well, brother
God
man,
to,
listen. You know
yeah.
what taught you about Abraham? The colonizer.
Before Abraham, we have a country. There was a Melchizedek. That king, king of Salem, was
Brother man,
Ethiopian king.
listen. The Melchizedek is the solid-minded gift. It's God's wisdom to bring to Abraham because Melchizedek gave Abraham bread and wine, which represents God's supper. The bread and
So,
wine that Melchizedek. So, but brother man, these are not
yeah.
historical. These are the colonizers took the information and made it historical. But these are nursery rhymes that have meanings. These are rhymes to nurture your mind to get you to principle understanding and principle meanings. But what did the colonizer do to the Ethiopians? Took the information and brainwashed the Ethiopians and made it history. Solomon ain't history. Like I told the other brother, the Solomon and Sheba story is not a historical story. It's a teaching about God anointed one.
But let's,
Just like
okay.
Mary and Joseph is not a history story, it's a teaching about God anointing one. And that's all I'm trying to tell you. These are not
When you
historical
finish,
stories.
you'll give me like a minute, and then I will reflect my opinion, and then I would like to depend on truth and fact, not like from outsiders' perspective. If we need to dig to the truth, we have to go to the grassroots level. Our history as Ethiopian never started as a kingdom of Aksumite dynasty or the Solomonic dynasty. Before Solomonic dynasty, before Abraham, there was a country called Ethiopia.
No, it wasn't.
Our king used to called Melchizedek, that means king of Salem, king of peace. And then God ordered Abraham to go and offer a gift and be blessed by Melchizedek. So Abraham went to the Ethiopian king to be blessed. That means we were a believers. We were a believers. We had faith. We had country. We had religion. We had neighbors of our own, like Egyptians, at the time. You see, that's the difference information you have now.
Listen, that's the Moses story of God prophecy.
It's not a story. We have a country old enough to tell.
Listen, all you sat there and told me was what Moses wrote in Genesis. That's the same story in Genesis. And Abraham descendants that's gonna be in a foreign land as the same story you going by. Melchizedek gonna have to bring bread to the descendants who in captivity to get them out of captivity. That's why Moses wrote those things down. Moses did not write these things down as a historical story. There's no Melchizedek in history. These are prophetic visions. So that's what I'm saying. So these things.
You are mentioning, yeah. Okay, wait. Let me finish. Now we have different understanding. Do you believe that Ethiopia used to be a kingdom before Israel was established as a country, even before Abraham? Before Abraham left Ur, his mother and fatherland.
Abraham is not even a real person.
You think so, but as Ethiopian, we had our own history, written history, documented history. Abraham was real. Judaism was real. Before Judaism, we had our own religion. Our people used to worship sun and nature, and then we have documented. We have our own writing system.
Okay,
so,
brother man, do not the Bible say? Hold up. Do not the Bible say? It says Abraham descendants gonna be in a foreign land. Does not the Bible say that?
You see, like you have
brother man, hold on. No, brother man, look, just answer the question. Okay. Does not the Bible say the descendants of Abraham was gonna be in a foreign land that's not theirs?
So you have the resource. You have the resource. Who gave you? Who gave you?
It's in the Ethiopian Bible.
So you don't believe in the Bible? You don't believe in the Bible, right?
No, I do believe in the Bible. I don't believe your understanding of the Bible.
You say that like it's misinformation, right?
Bro, just answer the question. I believe just what the Bible says. Abraham's descendants are in a foreign land. So do you believe that?
That's the historical Bible, right?
Do you believe that's what the scripture tell us in Genesis? I think it's 14 and 15.
Yes, I do believe I'm a Christian, and
So
I
do you
accept the
believe?
Genesis.
So do you believe Abraham's descendants are in a foreign land that's not theirs? That's a yes or no question, so I can make my point.
It used to be a foreign land, but God promised them and gave it to them. So now it used to.
So you don't believe Abraham descendants are in a foreign land that's not theirs? You don't believe that?
Not anymore. Not anymore, because it was a promised land.
Okay. So when did Abraham descendants return, and when did God judge the nation? Because in the same scripture.
Okay, after 400 and something years that they enslaved in Egypt, and then they returned back to the promised land that God promised to Abraham, right?
But a minute, the Bible, Moses talked about us going back to Egypt on ships. After Moses came got us, Moses said you was gonna go back to Egypt on ships. You ever read that?
Who said that?
Moses.
What did he say?
The same people that left Egypt was gonna go back to Egypt on ships. That's what Moses said.
For what purpose? For trade, for resettlement, or to be colonized?
Hold up. You was gonna be bondmen and bondwomen. So that still make Abraham descendants where? Where would Abraham descendants be according to Moses if we was gonna go back to Egypt on ships to be bondmen and bondwomen?
Okay, can I go one by one for your answer if you don't disturb me?
Go ahead.
Okay, first I would like to emphasize the first thing. Abraham's used to live in Iraq, the current day Iraqi, right? His origin is Ur, that near to Babylon, right? His origin. Then he left his country and he came to the current Palestine area that God promised him. Then his descendant, Jacob's 12 sons and their family, including Joseph, left down to south to Egypt, the southern Egypt part. So they left the promised land and they were enslaved for 450 something years, and then they returned back to Canaan. But after Jerusalem destruction, yeah, it's true. They left. They have been to Egypt, they have been to Ethiopia, they have been to all over the world. But now you are mixing two things: Israeli history, the old Bible history, and Ethiopian history. We Ethiopians, before Bible, Moses wrote the Genesis, we have been a country. We have been a constitutional kingdom in eastern part of Ethiopia. We don't have any relationship at the time with Jews or the Israeli history. Why you are mentioning Israeli history?
Are you saying Ethiopians aren't Jews? Are you saying that does the Bible come from Ethiopia?
Hebrew and Jews are different things.
But does the Bible come? Does the Bible come
Yes.
from Ethiopia?
Yeah.
He said Hebrews and
You
Jews.
say the Bible does come from Ethiopia?
No, we have our own version of Bible, and
But does the original scrolls come from Ethiopia?
No, we are not Jews. We are not Jews by blood.
But do the biblical scrolls come from Ethiopia?
Which Bible? There are different books, on the Bible.
There's multiple books. That's what I'm saying. You got the Book of Enoch. You got the Torah. Those
the Ethiopian version. The Ethiopian version, we have our own.
There's only been a Ethiopian version first before there's been other versions. That's what I'm asking.
The thing is, like, my answer for your brother or your, I don't know what your relationship, I'm sorry to say that, but for your mate, we Ethiopians are Ethiopians and not Israelis. Israel was established after Ethiopia was established, and
we know the Israel that's out there today is a false Israel, and it is created by the
the original one. The original one.
The original one is that the Israel people are a people. Israel is a people, it's not a landmass.
Okay, but there was a government. There was a ruling dynasty in the so-called
dynasty is connected to Ethiopian history. That's what we.
Yes, but before that dynasty, before the Israel history, our history was there. We have our own kings. We had our own kings. We had our own history. We have our own teachings. So if you are referring Bible, you are on halfway. You know, halfway.
But brother, that we're just trying to show you the connection between the biblical stories that you read and the history of Ethiopia and how it connects. That's why Ethiopia doesn't follow the throne of David anymore. After Haile Selassie, there was no one that took the throne after. But the prophecy that you read in the Bible is talking about someone among the people that will restore that throne.
So what does it mean? That is it like related to colonization?
Yes, because the
Your
scattered
topic
people,
says Ethiopia is colonized. We never been colonized. And which part was colonized?
the whole of Africa been colonized. The whole world been colonized. They follow a lie. That's why that's why the Bible, is connected to government. That's why religion is connected to government. If Ethiopia was never colonized, there wouldn't even be a Roman Catholic Church in Ethiopia.
No, Roman Catholic Church is a new faith in Ethiopia.
Okay, but why would there be a Catholic Church in Ethiopia if
they have a right to establish their own church? They have a right.
So they have the right.
Why we are rejecting them? We reject them for 500 years. Do you know about the
close? The right to go into Ethiopia.
Yes, now they have
build their own church.
Yes, the way how we Ethiopians build our own church in America, in Europe, and in other African countries.
Hey.
Yeah.
When Ethiopians build a church in America, they put a white Jesus.
That I oppose.
Okay, but why? Why they not colonized?
Well, actually, the whole world would have misinformation if we said that Jesus is not a white person. Jesus is a Middle Eastern, a brown person, brown color person. Jesus was.
There's no way if I'm an Ethiopian, Ethiopia was never colonized.
Yes.
I would believe in a white Jesus. That's the first form of colonization is to make you believe Jesus is white.
Okay, if you go to my grandparents' place and in Ethiopia, you will never see the white Jesus. We have our own even.
Hey, that's a lie. We talk to Ethiopians; they got white Jesus.
No. We have our own form of drawing pictures. Google Ethiopian version of like icons, like those pictures. I don't believe in my faith. I don't believe in those pictures because I don't have that kind of traditional religion. But if you are talking about colonization, if it's physical colonization, we never been colonized, but they tried many times. 500 years ago, the Jesuits came to Ethiopia 500 years ago. They get defeated. They left the country. And then our king at the time ruled a new policy called constitutional closed door policy, something like that. And then for 500 years, they never been allowed to enter to Ethiopia as a missionary or as a colonizer. That's why we have been like segregated for many years and we have been backward. We were out of information. We were out of the trade route for 500 years. And then 130 years ago, we had this open door policy again. That's why they came back again to Ethiopia, not to colonize. To colonize, yes, Italians came, they tried, they get defeated 2 times. They left. They took,
The Italians didn't get defeated. They took over for 5 years.
No, it wasn't a colony. It was a war, and they never been settled.
Brother, they took over.
No.
Hold on. The Italian general became the emperor of Ethiopia for 5 years.
No. They have been like they had
he became the emperor for 5 years, bro.
No, for 5 years we had a war. We have been on war, never been colonized, and they get defeated and they left.
Brother.
Yeah.
You had to receive help from other nations to get the Italians to go back home.
We had alliance.
Yes. Great Britain.
True.
Brother. Great Britain is the colonizers of the world. How can that be your biggest ally, the colonizer? The same people who stole from y'all king, who was fighting for Ethiopia. This is the same people you and allies with.
You know what? When you have a war, you have your own strategy to survive. At the time, it was a Second World War, by the way. It was a Second World War. and USA and USSR, the Russia, Soviet Russia, were allies. They were friends at the time.
Brother, I'm not gonna
Right?
be friends with my enemy.
But they have been friends. They were allies. USSR and USA were allies to defeat Germany, the Nazis. And then we were looking for help, and they were our allies. They helped us. We helped them. Ethiopian soldiers were in Korea. They went to Korea, you know? Yeah.
Let me show you why British help Ethiopia. Can you put that thing up there with Haile Selassie? Let me show you why Great Britain helped Ethiopia. You see this right there? He bestowed upon Her Majesty and her consort, with her husband, Prince Philip, the highest orders of the solid-minded gift. Now, what is the solid-minded gift? No, matter of fact, what was Haile Selassie to Ethiopia? What position Haile Selassie was in?
Haile Selassie was king of kings in Ethiopia.
So the king of kings of Ethiopia gave the power to who?
No.
Who did he give power to?
He never gave the power. He don't have a right to give power.
Okay.
He can.
Hold on. Stop. So you telling me the king of kings don't have the right to give power?
Yeah.
How? Why are you the king of kings?
Because he was elected. We had a constitutional monarchy.
So that means he have authority. So when you're the king of kings, do you not have authority?
Yeah. Somehow your authority is like not authoritarian. They can change you. There are kingmakers also in Ethiopia. Remember that, like, they are sitting there in Ethiopia. If they don't want you, they will kick you out and they will bring another king as your cousin or your brother. So kings in Ethiopian way, they have certain right and obligations. But whatever,
Brother,
yeah.
I'm gonna show you how you don't know, because they go back to the pictures. This man went to war with Haile Selassie. Do you know anything about the war when he went to war with Haile Selassie?
Which war? There were many wars.
I know, but no, he went to war with Haile Selassie. This was Queen.
The one you see on the third row was Haile Selassie's father.
No, that's not Haile Selassie's father. Haile Selassie's father is right here.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, him. He went to war with Haile Selassie.
Who was that? Who was?
Him.
Yeah.
This was Queen Zatu's husband. Queen Zatu, this was her husband. I can't really say his name.
Okay.
So, do you know why he went to war with Haile Selassie? Now, this is before Haile Selassie was king of kings.
It was the Battle of Akim.
I wanted him.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you know about that battle?
A battle of what?
Anchem. Anchem.
Anken. I really don't know what a place called or a war called Anken. Maybe we have different pronunciations.
So how you know what happened 2,000 years ago?
We have a written document, and then you mentioned, like, in Ethiopia.
So that's it. Who wrote the document?
Okay, wait. Haile Selassie was king of kings. We have our own different kings in every province, you know.
No. Who wrote the documents you read?
The king writers. They were king writers, the historians, and then also the school curriculum.
What, brother man?
Yeah.
Brother man, Ethiopia didn't get historians until about the 1960s, 1980s. That's when y'all got.
No, we have our own. Always, we have our own writers, and the kings have their own king writers.
Why you think they didn't have multiple artifacts in Ethiopia? So you know how much artifacts got taken from Ethiopia? So the people who write history these are people who are taught by Great Britain. They go to school in Great Britain. Most of the Ethiopians that teach history, you know where they went to school at? They went to school in Great Britain.
You're talking about the modern history. Before the modern history, we have
because your artifact was taken.
Okay, could you tell me from 16th century to 20th century what happened in Ethiopia for 500 years? You can't tell me anything. Nothing to find, because we have a closed door policy, bro.
Listen, I can tell you what happened. War. Yeah. That's what was happening. War. It was at war. It was tribal conflict. It's been tribal conflict.
You don't know anything. Because it was a closed door policy, and only 3 people came to Ethiopia during that time. One of the leader was James Bruce, the British historian, and then he left. The rest came. They were defeated. That's why Britain came to invade Ethiopia in during Theodorus' time. So we have our own history. The thing is, like, you guys, as we Ethiopians, we don't mix our own history. We have this like our own history, and then our forefathers kept it with compiled it and kept it for us with coherence.
Brother,
So
man,
it's
They did not compile it for you because you don't have the compiling. You don't have the information.
we have, but if I tell you, you distract me or you refuse or like you don't want to listen.
Brother, that information was looted from Ethiopian during Tedros' time. Why do you think the artifacts, manuscripts are still in the Vatican? Why do you think there's a Ethiopian college in the Vatican?
Yeah, 15th century, we had even our own embassy in Vatican.
Okay, bro. Okay. All right. Hey, brother, man, we appreciate
you
coming up, bro.
Okay. One point before I leave, I would like to say one point. Brother and sister, if you try to mention Ethiopian history, please don't start from the middle of Ethiopian history. That the biblical history. Before Bible was written, our country has been there for 3,000 years. So Bible came in the middle of Ethiopian history. So, it's kind of like parallel history, but we have our own ancient history. So, and also the second thing, when they say you are colonized, if it's geographical, yes, part of Ethiopia was colonized because we have been, expanding and shrinking during the time. So if you say so, it's true, but the current geographical location, geographical map and the current political map never been colonized. And for 5 years, we have been in war with Italy. They never succeed. Thank you.
Thank you for coming up.
We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you doing, guys?
What's going on? Peace.
What the question is, Ethiopia is colonized or not colonized, right?
Well, we know it's colonized, but we're trying to get our brothers and sisters to understand how it's colonized.
I think Ethiopia is not colonized. Also, Ethiopia is occupied, but Italy tried to occupy it like for 5 years, and now they didn't succeed, and they leave the country. But
brother, man, if any Ethiopian that call themselves Ethiopian is colonized, because Ethiopia is a colonized name. Ethiopian itself none of your ancestors called themselves Ethiopians. Nobody on here, all these men on here was between the 1860s and the 1930s. Nobody on here called themselves Ethiopian. So why do Ethiopians call themselves Ethiopian? Because of the information.
No, bro, I know the people in your background. I know all their names, and they call themselves Ethiopian. One of most of them, the one who built the Ethiopian.
Haile Selassie's wife was Queen of Abyssinia. They wasn't using Ethiopia.
Tedros was an Amorite. He said he was a Negus. He didn't say he was an Ethiopian. So he have letters. So even in the writings of the ancient, nobody called themselves an Ethiopian. So, and see, that's what I'm saying. This is just proof, and this is why we can't communicate with one another. Because of the brainwashing. So many people are brainwashed with false information, we can't even communicate with one another to fix the problem that's at hand. Because it's a problem going on in Ethiopia. And that's why, like I tell people, like, people act like Ethiopia is just, it's peaches and cream. No, it's terrible over there in Ethiopia right now. Why? The brainwashing of the people. Just like in America. We brainwashed in America, so we fighting against each other. If Ethiopia wasn't colonized, you wouldn't be fighting against each other. You would be getting along.
Yeah, I accept it. Like, if you say it, Ethiopia is colonized by a religion, yeah, that's why I accept it. That was like Ethiopia, like religion is occupied from any country, and the religion, Christianity or Muslim, come to Ethiopia. That they change the identity and the names. But Ethiopia is whatever you call Ethiopia or Abyssinia, it's the same thing.
But what you say, religion is connected to politics. Religion is connected to government.
Yeah, it's very like in Ethiopian religion and the politics is very connection, strong connection. as until end of the 19th century, like 100 years ago, even 30 years, before 30 years, Ethiopia and the religion is very connected. I can't accept that one. The guy said that the truth. We can't hide it. But other than it's what it is. But all these people that most of them they fought for Ethiopian, they died for Ethiopian, and they also religion. Most of the Tedros mostly he's fighting for the religion. Menelik also he is trying to expand the Orthodox and killing more Muslims and converting them to Christianity.
Yes.
And this is the truth. And there's someone in your background. I can see Ligiasu. Rasmokonan.
Yazoo,
Yeah,
right?
Rasmokonan is the father of Haile Selassie. That in the down there. So most of the team, down one, Rasmokonan. So much in Ethiopia, the guy. So in Ethiopian, really like religion and especially like Orthodox and the politics is very connected.
Oh, most definitely. And see, that's what we're trying to reveal, and that's what we have a movement to change that. We have a movement to restore Ethiopia. And we have to understand restoring Ethiopia is unifying Africa. Because the African Union is also in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So when Ethiopia is restored, Africa becomes restored. And that's why we bring these topics. We don't bring these topics to argue and really bicker about it. We bring these topics to bring awareness so we can communicate on how we can fix the problem. So right now, if you look, we have a petition for these treasures to be returned. You see what I'm saying? So we just not up here trying to down Ethiopia or cause converse, because we doing something for Ethiopia. So like I say, man, it's just to bring awareness to really start communicating of how we come together and fix the problem to heal our nations, because our nations need healing.
Yeah, guys, if you asking, both of you Ethiopians, so where are you from, originally? Both of you Americans or what?
Yeah, we're Americans, but like I said, we are of the descendants who were scattered from Ethiopia long ago, before the 1900s. You see what I'm saying? So this is what people in Ethiopia don't know. Like a lot of people know in Ethiopia, you had a slave trade. You had people leaving Ethiopia just like you have people leaving Ethiopia today. In the 1800s, people was leaving Ethiopia because of the starvation and all the stuff that was going on. So people was leaving.
Yeah, Ethiopia have starvation. Yeah, that to 1977 and then 1954 and fights. Because of the monarchy in Ethiopia. They are I don't even agree on some of the ones the monarchy in Ethiopia did in Ethiopia, and somehow the way they build and the way that every empire in this world, if you see like Roman Empire or Ottoman, they have a lot of bad things they done, and also they have some good too done. So we can accept both way. So we have to just fix our history and for a better future.
Yeah, correct. That's what we up here for. At the end of the day, that's what we up here for. And like I say, these kind of conversations just spark a conversation to bring awareness to how we can fix the problem, rather than just bigger about, well, Ethiopia not calling no way. Okay, well, look what's going on in Ethiopia. So how can we fix this problem? Because like I said, a lot of bad stuff is going on in Ethiopia, and it shouldn't be going on if we could come together and unify and fix it.
Yeah, one thing is coming from Ethiopia. A big problem in Ethiopia is coming from ethnic city. Yeah, we have a lot of an ethnic city, and we don't have to. We didn't have to respect each other culture, identity, language, religion, and no one are above to each other. So we have to be quality and we have to respect diversity in this country. We got a lot of problem with that. So we. Other than that, we fix this one. Ethiopia is going to be have very good potential in terms of politics and in terms of people and have young generation. So we have to just fix our history and to make for upcoming generation. That's why I'm going to say, and the guys keep doing so. I'm going to leave soon. So guys, thank you very much for accepting my request, and have a good time.
All right, brother. Appreciate you coming up. So I think y'all that's gonna conclude the guest for the day. And I definitely appreciate much respect to the Ethiopians that came up and had a decent conversation with us, and and tried to really listen to what we were saying and why we were saying it. And we really encourage y'all to reach out to our website, really join our movement, help reconnect African Americans back to Ethiopia, to come help restore Ethiopia back to its ancient land. These tools like this should form a connection. These social media platforms should not be disconnecting us. We should be able to find a way or find at least a mutual agreement. And this mutual agreement is to what? Fix the problems that's at hand. If you are dedicated to fixing the problems that's at hand, reach out to the website. It's in the bio, yajujudah.com. We are looking for all our Ethiopians and brothers and sisters to reach out to us. We got a petition. Everybody in Ethiopia need to sign this petition. This petition a lot of Ethiopians need to be passing this petition out, so people can sign it to return the treasures that will remove a lot of economic problems inside of Ethiopia. So these things, y'all, like I said, this movement is very important. And like I said, it's not just about Ethiopia. You got to understand the African Union is in Ethiopia. I got to keep reiterating that. The African Union is in Ethiopia. The Saligmanic gift it comes from Ethiopia. So the whole return of Christ is about bringing God wisdom back to Ethiopia to restore the throne, the majesty, which is the order of Melchizedek. So like I said, these things, y'all, it's all these little pieces that they scatter everywhere, and now you can't see the bigger picture. So what we have done is picked up all the pieces and put it together so you can see the picture now. So this is why we can judge the British Empire. Because we know who got the solid-minded gift. The solid-minded gift got to be given back to Christ, who God gonna raise up from the people. That's who the kingdom got to be given back to. So what the CIA been doing? Trying to stop the Messiah from rising, because the Messiah gonna rise with the solid-minded gift and gonna bring it back to Ethiopia, which is God wisdom. So if my real Ethiopians are in here right now, if you go on change.org, you see this thing was started when? In 2021. So I didn't wake up one day and bump my head and say, oh, Ethiopia's colonized. I've been doing this. We've been seeking this information. Why you think I made a petition? So we are not up here, don't ever get confused. We are up here trying to hurt Ethiopia. We are up here just trying to hurt black people. We are trying to hurt any ethnic group. We are bringing peace and healing to all nations with the truth that hurts. So it might look like we hurting people because we telling the truth. But we also bringing healing. And the world can only be healed, and these wounds can only be healed with the truth, y'all. So again, if you go on the website, all this stuff is on the website. The declaration is on the website to show what we are doing. So right now, I think we got like 43 signatures. Every Ethiopian on this live should sign this. Why as an Ethiopian you wouldn't support this petition? Why? So right now, y'all, like I say, man, it's just y'all, we really gotta understand what's going on, man. This is not nothing. We are up here to play. A lot of y'all are playing on social media. We're not here to play. We're not here to play, y'all. No, this is a real life movement. This real life. This is reality. So again, yajujudah.com, y'all. Check out the website. Again, if you're Ethiopian, you think you want to be a part of this battle, we welcome you. We have calls every Monday. Reach out to us on yajujudah.com.
Yajujudah.com is on the bio. Everything's on the website.
And with that being said, y'all, peace, peace. As always, we hope the Father has circumcised y'all hearts and ears for the message.
Peace and blessings. You
sign on the website. It's a change.org. If you go to change.org. But if you go to the website that's in the bio, if you click on my page, you're going to have yajujudah.com. If you go to the website, if you go on the website, you're going to see the petition. Click on the petition and just sign it. Click on the petition. And you don't have to put no money. I know change.org does ask for money, y'all. So, You don't have to put no money on there if you want to. It just would help get the petition notarized a little more. But you can sign it without no money.
This is the website right here. Yajujuda is pinned.
Everything is on the website. Everything is on the website. If you got a question, go reach out on the website, y'all. We can't let everybody up. This is something we can't do. We human. We do get tired. You know, we're not trying to sit on here all day. So we appreciate, like I said, we appreciate again the Ethiopians that came up and had a decent conversation to really bring clarity to the people. And like I say, we much appreciate it. But everything is on the website, y'all. Go check it out again. And as always, we hope the Father has circumcised y'all hearts and ears for the message.
Peace.